What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Nicey Chunga Benny, and I'm here with my co-host, Greg King.
What's good, everybody?
And you're listening to the Ball Fake Podcast. Thank you guys so much. We're now at 101 subscribers. If you look for more college basketball content and NBA basketball content, or just things, you know what I'm saying, in relations to basketball, we talk about it all here on the Ball Fake Podcast. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Continue to do that. Also, hit us up in the comment section. Let us know what y'all want us to talk about and everything of that nature. But if you're listening to Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, make sure y'all giving us a nice little review. Once again, we want to hear y'all's feedback on everything. But we're going to hop right into it. Yesterday, we had 4 great games: IU versus Texas, Stanford versus UNC, Duke versus Michigan State, and Kansas versus Kentucky. We're going to start here with IU versus Texas. Greg, what were your thoughts on that game?
Man, Texas really just came out and just set the tone of the game, bro. I have to give credit to Shaka Smart, bro. A lot of people don't know him. He's an underrated coach, but he's really the player. He's really a player's coach. He buys, makes his players buy in on the defensive end, and they really just clamped down IU yesterday. IU shot their lowest percentage they ever shot at in team history. They shot 23% from the field, 20% from the 3-point line, and they created a lot of turnovers, and that's why Texas won by 22 yesterday. And Texas got great help from their veteran guards, Coleman, Andrew Jones is a recovery from cancer a year ago, and Ramey. They really got really good guard play from those 3 guys.
Yeah, Ramey's coming off of a game winner too against Davidson. So
yeah. And they also got help in their front court too, Greg Brown, Sims, and Kai Jones. So all around, just Texas had a really good game. Texas is very athletic and long, bro, in all areas, and they really just get after it. I'm gonna stop
you right there. Speaking of athletic, Greg Brown, what are your thoughts on him? I know he's a guy. He's one of the top incoming freshmen for Texas and in the nation. I believe he was a top 10 recruit. Yep. I can't remember off the top of my head, but what are your thoughts on him? I mean, he's definitely an athletic guy, you know what I'm saying? Big, long arms and everything like that.
Yeah, he just needs to work on his consistent shooting. That's pretty much it, because he can get after it on both sides of the ball. It's just really his consistent shooting, how they're going to fit him in on the perimeter and stuff, because I think he has a good handle. I think obviously he's athletic, he can dunk and everything. But yeah, really just consistent shooting is a concern for me.
Okay. But yeah, in my opinion, it was a really hard game to watch for the Hoosier fans. You know,
it really was.
IU, they never led during the game. They struggle when Trace Jackson Davis leaves the game. It's really annoying. We can't really find too much rebounding outside of Race Thompson. But Trace Jackson, he's a guy. He's going to cover up the mistakes for IU's guards. They commit a few mistakes on the defensive end. They're young. It's acceptable, I guess. Early in the season, but rebounding is going to be a big issue for the Hoosiers when Jackson isn't on the floor. Like I said, Race Thompson, he can't be the only guy on the floor who's reluctantly rebounding. It's going to take all 5 guys on the floor securing rebounds to give Indiana a chance to be successful this season, But as noted, Texas dominated the glass. Their front court was a problem as Texas was able to out-rebound Indiana 48-29.
That's huge.
And 14 of those were offensive rebounds. So, like I said, heading into this game, I told a few friends who asked me their opinions on it. I told them that in order for IU to have a chance, they're going to have all 5 guards, not necessarily crash the glass, but box out. Texas, they were able to grab a few long rebounds, and they took advantage of that. You're giving up extra possessions, so you're going to have a tough time outscoring a team like that whenever you're giving them more chances and more opportunities to put the ball in the basket. But on the offensive end, I think IU's guards, they need to penetrate into the lane just a little bit more and look to score in points in the paint, you know what I'm saying, whenever they get their paint touches. But Galloway and Durham, they do a good job of putting pressure on the opposing team from this aspect. But their teammates such as Finney and Franklin, even Lander sometimes, they didn't look to score at the rim much yesterday. Anytime you get a paint touch, it opens up the floor more for everybody else. That's why IU is so effective when entering the ball into the post. Guys like Jackson Davis,
because he draws a double team.
Right. He makes the opposing defense focus on him, which then gives other guys more opportunities to get involved offensively. But, overall, like you said, the Hoosiers, they didn't do too many good things on the floor yesterday. They shot 24% from the field, which was their worst field goal percentage. They couldn't buy a bucket from beyond the arc. They only shot 2 for 10 from 3-point line, 20% from 3. That's not winning basketball. They made 78% of their free throws, and they didn't have the best shooting game percentage-wise. But they got good looks at the rim. this carried over to the 3-point line. As far as Texas, their offense, because, you know, like you said, they've been giving up a whole bunch of offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, you name it. Sims was able to take advantage of that. But like you said, Matt Coleman, he got it going, and it just spread to the rest of Texas's offense. You know, what did you think that defensively Indiana could have done better to come out with a win?
Just limit transition. That's the thing. That Texas started to get out in transition and created them turnovers, and that it was kind of hard for IU to get back. So they should have got back on defense and limit those turnovers. But really start the veteran guards is tough, and especially for these freshman guards and sophomore guards on Indiana. Like, it's kind of hard for them to stop these veteran guards because they're so experienced, and every time IU is gonna have to just learn. They're gonna have to learn from these mistakes, and of course over the season, just get better with these how to manage the game, and really just progress and limit those mistakes. So the less turnovers, the more opportunities, you know, chances to score. So I think IU will be fine, and they correct those mistakes and move forward from this game. It was a really bad game, very sloppy, just from the start of the game to the end. So
yeah, like you said, they committed 14 turnovers. They also didn't share the ball too well. They only dished out 6 assists.
Yeah, that's bad.
And on Texas end, once again, they came out, they just produced from the jump. You know, they made 78% of their free throws. They didn't have a bad shooting game, but they didn't have the best shooting game. They only shot around 38%, which isn't amazing, but, you know, it was good enough to beat a decent Hoosier team. But I think Texas, they're going to be a pretty good team. You can tell they've surprised a lot of people. Not too many people necessarily came in with the highest expectations. Yeah, we know the Longhorns are going to be good this season, but I think they've surprised a lot of people, and they're gonna look to win a Maui championship. So yeah, keep an eye on them this season. But for our next game that we're going to cover is UNC versus Stanford. Greg, what are your opinions on that game?
You know, I'm excited for being a North Carolina fan, but really the one thing I want to say nicely, feed the bigs.
Right.
Feed the bigs, bro. Feed the bigs. Run your offense through the front court, bro. I know it's going to take time for Caleb Love and RJ Davis, who are freshman guards, to get acclimated into the season with no preseason game, no exhibition, not a lot of practices. So it's going to be a minute. Like, Caleb Love shot 6 for 18. I can live with that, bro. I can live with that. He finished with 16 points, and he made some big time shots in the second half. So I can live with that. But it's going to take time for them to get acclimated to this college basketball lifestyle and how fast paced these games can play, especially with North Carolina. They want to get out in transition. Roy Williams has been known for that. So if they can slow down on the half-court offense and feed the bigs, especially when they have people have been saying they have a great front court. Garrison Brooks, Armando Bacot, Walker Kessler, and Deron Sharp. So, I mean, just feed the bigs. That's one thing I can take away from this game is keep feeding the bigs, bro.
Right.
So what is your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, UNC, they do a great job of feeding their bigs. Somehow, some way, they're always able to enter the ball through the middle to Garrison Brooks and allow him to finish at the rim. And in most cases, he gets to the free throw line too by doing that. But he kind of reminds me of an old school player. You know, he doesn't do anything outside of what he can't. And he's going to post you up on either block using his body. And he's going to utilize his strength and just go straight up and drawing fouls and, you know what I'm saying, getting to the basket at an efficient rate. But like most Roy Williams teams, they're so sound fundamentally. They had 11 turnovers in the first half. You know, that's kind of give or take. They have a young backcourt, but Stanford controlled the tempo early on and got good looks in their offense. It wasn't until Zaire Williams got in foul trouble for UNC to really get rolling. They kind of struggled early on, but as always, they played their offense through the post and got the looks that they wanted. You know, like you said, Caleb Love, he was excellent in transition. RJ Davis handled the ball well, despite them having 24 turnovers. I know that's kind of crazy for me to say.
Yeah, that's surprising they won.
Well doing that, but
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, when it counted, he
stepped up.
Yeah, and they were able to, you know what I'm saying, get UNC the best shots possible. But
how do you think Stanford should have slowed down UNC? Because they did a great job in the first half.
I mean, just closing the gaps, making sure guys aren't penetrating into the lane. You know, Caleb Love, he's a slasher. RJ Davis, he's also somebody who looks to get into the paint. He's not really a guy who's going to just sit at the three-point line and shoot jumpers like these other college freshmen have been doing. So, yeah, I mean, closing the gaps, making sure that they stay out of the lane, forcing them to be jump shot shooters. And, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. Make sure you rebound as well because, you know, UNC, they've got one of the best front courts in college basketball.
Yeah,
But
I think going forward, UNC, they're hopefully they can continue to shoot better. But yeah, that's probably one thing. They just need consistent shooting, which might hurt them, come tournament time or even in their conference play. So
yeah, I'm not sure who number 3 is, but I would like to see him spot up a little bit more.
Number 3 is Andrew Platek. Yes,
I think he puts the ball on the floor just a little bit more than I'd like a shooter to, because obviously if my shooter, let alone my best shooter, is putting the ball on the floor and he's kicking the ball out to other guys, they're obviously not gonna knock the three ball down at the rate that he will be able to. So I would like to see Caleb Love and RJ Davis kind of, set him up from beyond the arc where he's best at. But, like you said, the deciding factor of the game was the rebounding category. UNC, they led this category 43-23.
And they're always going to lead in this category, bro. Every game they're going to out-rebound somebody. So it's when you're playing USC, you just got to make sure you box out. And a lot of teams go zone and try to stop it, but they're still too overpowered down there, bro.
Yeah, you have to be committed to actually boxing out, though. A lot of teams, well, not a lot of teams, but a lot of guys get lazy in zones. They expecting their other teammates to pick up the slack for them and just secure rebounds and I think that's something that IU kind of struggles with too sometimes. They don't necessarily do it in a zone, but just in general, they rely too much on Trace Jackson Davis and Race Thompson and guys of that nature to, secure those rebounds for them.
Yeah.
But
were you surprised by the Stanford team, the way they played?
I mean, I think Stanford's a decent team, especially with the addition of Zaire Williams. He's a number 8 recruit. But I mean, I think they played pretty decent. With UNC having one of the best front courts, like I said, it's going to be hard for them to get baskets in the paint. But I would have liked them see it. They just didn't look like, they kind of looked like they were out there kind of trying to run their offense, but they didn't necessarily look like the most confident team at times. Going against a Roy Williams team, you're going to have to put up a full 40 minutes. You can't just play well for 10, 15, 20 minutes. It has to be an entire 40-minate game. So, yeah, I mean, I think Stanford played decent. They didn't get blown out, but they definitely had an opportunity to win this game. But you know what I'm saying? That last run that UNC went on, it kind of solidified
the game.
Yeah, sealed the game for them. But I think outside of that, Stanford got jump shot happy too. They didn't pay attention to detail. They went away from playing their strength, and this obviously ultimately resulted in a loss. But Stanford will be able to walk away from this game knowing that they have more work to do and they can improve on this in the future. So that's that. But as for our third game of the night, Michigan State versus Duke.
Nice.
Greg,
you can start it off. What you think about it?
Okay. I think Michigan State, they couldn't get it rolling to start the game. Rocket Watts turned the ball over early. Michigan wasn't strong with the ball at all, and they didn't react well to Duke's tough defense. Those freshmen, they were actually pressuring the ball pretty well, and they forced a few turnovers. But MSU is struggling. They struggle when they don't have Aaron Henry on the court, because he's a guy. He's one of their leaders. He's somebody who put his name in the draft last season, and he decided to return for his junior year because he didn't like the feedback he received from NBA teams. But as far as Henry, yesterday he was pretty aggressive early on and throughout the entire game. He didn't get much help from his supporting cast. Rocket Watts, he started off slow. And he's got to do a better job of reading the defense and making sure Michigan State is getting the best possible shot, man.
Yeah, I agree. He had 3 turnovers yesterday,
which isn't bad at all. 3 turnovers from my point guard. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's
not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. But in regards to Duke, they generated most of their offense in transition. They were able to get a lot of good looks and drew a ton of fouls in the first half. But they made it very difficult for Michigan State to run their offense. And offensively, Matthew Hurt, he scored 8 points in the first half off 3 of 6 shooting. Duke did a good job recognizing the mismatch that they had and playing through him towards the end of the half. But MSU went on a run to end the first half. They utilized their strong suit by getting out in transition with the help of Rocket Watts. But no surprise that this is what helped them gain the lead. But they were actually the 5th fastest offense in the nation last season. So this wasn't too much of a surprise for me. But their half-court defense was the main reason for their halftime lead. MSU is a team that's going to have a great ball pressure and hug up on you.
And Duke struggles in the half-court offense. So it was a great matchup because Duke struggles in the half-court offense. They like getting out in transition, and Michigan State is good in half-court defense. So it was a great matchup. But I want to highlight Michigan State's bench. Hall and Marble the second. They great production out of them. Marble had 12 points. He created a quick spark off the bench when they were down at the beginning of the game, and Hall came in the front court and played really good too. But on the Duke side, I want to talk about Wendell Moore nicely. 22 ranked player in the 2019 class. 4 points, 30 minutes, 0 for 9, bro.
Yeah, I'm not very high on Wendell Moore.
Yeah, me either. I'm not high on it either. 0 for 9, bro. 0 for 9. I was not impressed, bro. Not impressed by his performance last night.
Yeah, and I would say once again, it's Michigan State's defense. They started the second half pretty dominant on that end of the basketball. They forced Duke to have a few miscues by their freshmen on the defensive side of the ball. Jalen Johnson, he was caught watching his man a few times, and this resulted in some easy baskets at the rim for Michigan State. And Michigan State's depth really gives them more options on the offensive end of the ball. So, you have to pay attention to not one, not two, but all 5 of those guys. But this obviously results in everyone working well together. They are a pretty good team production-wise. They share the ball pretty well. This is one of Tom Izzo's best passing teams. And with their unselfishness, I think it'll take them a long way throughout the season, man. I really do.
Yeah, I agree too. What do you think Duke needs to do for going forward? I mean, because we saw their flaw yesterday. They cannot shoot. I don't know how you think, but they cannot shoot. 21%.
I mean, the thing about these freshmen, not all of these. Okay, from Duke's perspective, I think, yes, I agree. They're not one of the best shooting teams. That's definitely not their strengths. Their strength is getting out in transition. Showcasing their athleticism. And then I think playing through Matthew Hurt, he can give you decent production enough to stay in games and everything. But they're going to need more out of Jalen Johnson. I think DJ Stewart, he's a work in progress. He's not a bad player, but he hasn't necessarily wowed me. We only seen 2 games. I mean, this was an early, test for those Duke Blue Devils. They opened up the season against Coppin State, not a very good team. Yeah. We don't know too much about Coppin State. But I mean, I think Jalen Johnson, he needs to do more offensively. Picking his spots, making sure that he's attacking the basket pretty well. He's a big athletic player for his size and his age as well. But like I said, I think teams like UK, Indiana, those freshmen, all of them are going to struggle early on in the season. I'm not going to be too hard on them. I'm going to give them until the 8th, 9th game mark
to a conference
really start
play.
Judging them. Because, it's like I said, it's early in the season, man. They're going to make a few boneheaded plays. Like those Kentucky guys, they play ISO ball too much for me. It kind of looks like you're watching an AAU basketball team sometimes.
Yeah.
But as far as Duke, I mean, I think they'll be fine in the future along the lines of the season. But in conclusion to that game, we're going to start with the Kansas versus Kentucky game. I mean, Kansas, they shot 30% from the field. That was one of their lowest field goal percentages in a win in the last 10 seasons, But Jalen Wilson, he had himself a game high of 23 points. He came out and he showcased his integrity. He was someone Kansas could really rely on for 40 minutes, and he delivered, But he also got help from his teammate, Ochai Agbaji. He played well. He gave the Jayhawks an effective 17 points. And Marcus Garrett played his role as a defender, despite him having an illness. You could really tell that he didn't really feel like himself out there. They talked about him having a sickness and everything. They didn't really specify what it was, but I'm glad he was able to help his team come out with a win. But you could tell he wasn't feeling so good, like I said, just by his movements on the court and everything. But last but not least, Christian Braun, he displayed his effectiveness for Kansas really last night. He's a guy
13 rebounds, okay.
Yeah, he's a guy who can shoot the hell out of the ball, and he's also going to do a bunch of things for you that won't show up in the stat line. He had a ton of energy throughout the game and was the first guy to hit the floor for those 50-50 balls and those long rebounds and everything. But in regards to Kentucky, they just haven't seemed to find their groove yet. They don't really have much of an identity as of right now. Even John Calipari doesn't know who they really are, which is kind of weird because, he's one of the best coaches in the history of college basketball. So you think that, he'd be able to fix this problem as soon as possible. But
this is a different group, bro. He's like, this is a different group. It's just a lot of freshmen who can really score the basketball, and now they have to share the ball and actually play as a team. So I think they're going to get in their groove really, really late. I don't know how you feel, but I believe that they're going to get in their groove really, really late.
Well, yeah. I mean, they, like you said, they don't share the ball well. They don't have much heart or fight in them just yet. and they aren't as talented as the other teams John Calipari has had in the past. But I think guys such as Brandon Boston, Olivier Sarr, and Terrence Clark, they need to do
they
a
should
better
play
job
through them.
leading, man.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
play through them.
They're playing through them, but they're playing selfishly too.
Yeah.
Devin Askew, I think he needs to do a better job of running the offense at a better rate and make the right reads for his team offensively. The rest of those guys, they're going to fall in line. They need to do a better job of sharing the ball. Like I said, Clark and Boston have to take advantage of their matchups. But UK is a much better team in transition than they are in the half court set, So I like to see them get out and run just a little bit more to look at the rim for easy baskets and everything like that. But I think overall, Kansas veterans, leaders show they can overcome adversity, and this resulted in the win. But what were your thoughts on Kentucky's guards? I mean, like I said,
I just think that, like I've been saying, that these freshman guards, it's going to take them a minute to, really get acclimated to the college basketball season with no preseason games or anything like that. So they're going to struggle a lot. But yeah, I agree with you on Devin Askew. 7 points, 1 for 5, 4 turnovers. Like, his decision making, he's gonna have to correct those mistakes, man. Like, IQ's got to get better over the course of the year.
Right.
If they're gonna have a chance.
I don't care about any other stat when it comes to Devin Askew. I don't care about any other stat but the assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah,
because you're our primary ball handler. We already know what we're getting from Brandon Boston and Terrence Clark. Terrence Clark, he's kind of a volume shooter. Brandon Boston, he's kind of been forcing it just because he's like, damn, like our offense isn't what I was expecting it to be, and they need to get guys like Jackson more involved. He's pretty big and athletic. And we also have to remember they're missing Keon Brooks. He's going to be a really good role player for them in this season.
Yep,
so
I agree.
I'm not going to be too hard on them. Like I said, I think over the course of the season, they won't look necessarily like one of the best college teams coming in, but I think they could finish possibly around the top 10 in their not top 10. I take that back. Not top 10. But as far as the NCAA tournament, they're gonna be a lower seed in my opinion. I don't think, yeah, I really do believe so. I don't think they have enough firepower. I don't think they have enough talent around them, and I definitely don't think that they have the IQ right now for them to.
Yeah, I think Brandon Boston will put up a lot of points, but I don't know how many. I don't see a lot of wins.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll be efficient too, because it seems like he's kind of out there forcing it. Like he had 20 and 10 versus Richmond, but if you were watching the game, it was an ugly 20 and 10,
Yeah. Same with last night, only 12 points, but shot 13 shots. Like, exactly.
But I mean, I wish Kentucky the best. I wish Kansas the best. And, I think that's all that we have for you guys today. We really appreciate hitting 100+ subscribers yesterday.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
I'm really enjoying the feedback that I've been getting on Instagram. We just recently started a Twitter. I don't know if y'all saw that by my post on Instagram the other day, but yeah, make sure y'all go ahead and follow us on there at Ballfake Podcast and give us some more, suggestions on videos and everything. We want to hear what you guys would like to see out of us. So make sure y'all are down low in the comment section and everything. But in celebration for our 100 subscribers, for hitting the 100 subscriber mark, we're doing another giveaway. Now, this giveaway is going to be a little bit cheaper. We're only giving out $100. Wow, oh well. But, we're giving y'all another opportunity to win some free cash. All you have to do is go in the comment section once again, type in Ballfake Podcast with an emoji. And it could be any emoji. Like I said in the previous video, it could be any emoji. But yeah, whoever comments the most and shares our post the most on Twitter and Instagram, they will be the winner of that Cash App $100 prize. So make sure y'all do that. But outside of that, it's your boy Nice Chunga Beanie. I'm here with my co-host Greg King, and we out.
We out.